Hello guys and welcome back. I am Brian Pierce, your purveyor of awesome, and today we are going to talk a little bit about Atomic Habits, a book that I just finished reading and also just gave a quick talk on. Now this video is going to be top 3 takeaways for me because of the fact that there is so much to talk about. So I wanted to kind of talk about the top 3 things that I'm going to take away from this book, try to implement in my life. Small degrees, right, at atomic scale, but it was very good read. So if you haven't read this, definitely go check it out. So top 3 takeaways. So 1, small change. We're trying to make 1% changes that compound over time. Great example of this is I want to be able to do 100 push-ups. Well, if I start trying to rack out as many push-ups as I can every day, at some point I could potentially get burned out. I'm like, well, I'm only at 25. I've been stuck at 25 forever. I'm never going to get to 100 push-ups. So what you would do is start with 1 push-up a day. And eventually you're realizing, wait, I can do 2. So then you're going to start doing 2 push-ups a day. And eventually you're going to get to 10 push-ups a day. It's a lot less daunting and the motivation is easier. But then as you're building up this 10 push-ups a day, you're like, you know what? I can see how this is working me towards this end goal of the outcome of being able to do 100 push-ups a day. And by the time you get there, you're not going to realize that it was those small little tiny changes that you made by adding 1 more push-up a day that got you to the point where you could do 100 push-ups a day. I've been trying to think about some of the things in my life that I know I need to work on, and one of them is organization. Thank you to the user that continues to call out my desk. I have to try to find those little 1% changes that I can make in my life to try to identify myself as more of an organized person. So that leads me to step 2. So the second takeaway from this is identity change. And this is where I feel that this book is a lot deeper and a lot better than some of the other self-help type books that I've read, because they talk about motivation a lot. And this isn't about motivation. This is about true identity change. You need to change who you identify yourself as so that you can become the habit that you want to be, become the person that is that habit. In this case, I just mentioned I want to identify as someone who is more organized so that I can create cues, cravings, habits, and responses to my more organized lifestyle that helps me continue to have these feedback loops to create myself to be a more organized person. I think if you're thinking about it in more of a fitness way, more of a nutritious way, you need to find the ways to help change the identity of who you are so that you identify as this person who goes to the gym, or this person who worries about the food that they put in their body and what food does for you when you're putting it in your body. So identity change, big takeaway there. I would definitely focus on that while you're reading the book. It's pretty awesome. Third thing is environment. This is a big one for me because of the fact that I know that there were a lot of times in my life where I put myself in an environment that I didn't really want to be there. It was just where I was, and I did not realize how much it was affecting and creating the person that I was being at my time in those lives, or in my life. So realizing what he talks about with environment change really does make a lot of sense once you kind of work through making smaller changes so that you're not trying to overwhelm yourself, realizing that you need to identify as the person that you're trying to become, but then also realizing how much your environment is kind of this invisible hand that can control who you are with bad habits that you don't know that you have that could be getting in the way. So, and I think a lot of people might be like, well, I can't change my environment. I liked what he said. He said, yes, if you live in a 400 square foot apartment in Manhattan and that's all you can afford, it will be hard to change your environment, but you need to shift the way you look at the environment that you have and create one space for one place. So that way, if it's a place to read, that's in one chair in the corner. If it's a place to eat, it's at your table that you have in the other corner, and you have your bed, and your bed is very specific for sleeping. And so that way, you're not those small parts of your environment can't get in the way of other parts of your life. So in this case, I want to work on having better sleep, but you're always watching TV while laying in bed. Well, we know that you're now associating with your bed with watching TV, not with sleep. So you give yourself that one space, one place of a chair or a couch specific to watching TV, then you won't associate your bed with watching TV. So when you get in your bed to go to sleep, it will be easier to fall asleep. So again, 1% changes that are going to compound over time. So smaller increments and give yourself more time for these changes to sink in. identity change. We want to work on becoming the person who we want our habits to define us as. And then third is environment. We want to make sure that our environment is helping us have this identity change and helping us with these 1% changes that we want to make, opposed to hindering us. Really great book. I had a lot of fun giving the talk at our CrossFit box yesterday. I will kind of take that talk that I had and break it down and do other little segments and talk like this. I'm going to try to keep them under 5 minutes, but we'll see how that goes. So again, guys, I am Brian Pierce, your purveyor of awesome. Quickly, of course, if you enjoyed this, give it a thumbs up, give it a like, leave questions in the comments below if you have them. I'd love it if you would subscribe, check out some of the Whoop videos and other things that I've been putting out. And I just want to say thank you very much for tuning in, and I guess we'll see you guys on the internet. Peace.